Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Finding Truth podcast here on Unscripted Truth TV. Episode 97, 3 away from the big triple digit. As for today, it's kind of going to be open-ended. As usual, very busy. Summer is very busy for me, especially here on the new property that we have. Fruit trees are coming in, so that ramps up our daily chores, as well as having the newborn very, very close. So within a few weeks from now, I'll have another little rascal on my hands. But all that being said, I do intend to kind of peruse the big headlines and then maybe look at anything ancillary on top of that. But I do want to, at the beginning of the episode, in case anybody missed it from last week, we do want to take like submissions and requests for potentially doing like a movie breakdown night for the 100th episode. I mean, we really can do it anytime, but me and Truth Shaman really do want to do a movie breakdown, which I think could be really fun. So whatever movie you guys want to see, just blast in the comments. You don't got to say anything but the movie, or maybe say the movie and why you think it should be the movie that we watch and decode, or whatever it may be. But just want to throw that out there so we get some hits on that. But either way, I do want to open it up by at least peeking at the NASCAR. I did see the winner, and but I didn't see any. I didn't catch any of the race or like do any decoding, unfortunately. Let's have a little peek. And we got our boy Corey Heim again, out of the Truck Series, taking his second win in the Cup Series. Bell behind him, which is kind of interesting because we've been kind of hot on Bell's trail to pick up an actual win, and of course now he gets a faux win, which is comes in second, but I guess first in the Cup Series contenders. But he's just the best loser. But yeah, we can take a peek at what that might mean. I mean, the last time Heim won, it was that Davy Chase girl's death. And what's interesting about that, what is kind of interesting about that, is there was a famous Davy that just died. Davy. Of course, there's Dave. You know what? This is probably tributes to Davy Allison. You know what? Me and Austin have talked about Davy Allison several times. We'd had a whole episode dedicated, well, not the whole episode, but a very large part of one of our episodes was dedicated to the strange deaths of NASCAR drivers or race car drivers. And not really remembering that he was referred to as Davy probably played a role in Heim's first win and this win, with another Davy in the news having died. Of course, Corey's middle name is Davy. Is David, I should say. Sorry. Oops. As you can see here, Corey and David Heim. So interesting that you have two Davies dying on one on each of it, or around the time of both of his wins. But the other Davy, what was the guy's name? Recent sport deaths. No, I didn't say prominent. Sorry, man, it's guys. Davy, was it a sport? I think he was. Oh, maybe his name was Dev. Yeah, that's right. It was spelled weird. DEV. There we go. Yeah. Here we go. Jordan Davy. but it's pronounced Davy. So yeah, he just died, and Heim picks up another win right after another Davy dies in the news. Interesting. Of course, dies at 38. Wonder what that's all about. Got the old suicide in there. Born on 111 in 88. Interesting. Played for the Chiefs. Did he end his career with the Chiefs? Oh, this is another CTE propaganda story. I'm not saying there's nothing real about that whole concussion trauma, but I think it's a larger piece to a puzzle about like literally AI. We talked about this, I think, the last 2 weeks, me and Shaman, about AI and robot sports and stuff like that. But battle bots. Interesting. There's a guy, the January 11th birthday, I believe, in is it Bell? No, not Bell. I thought there was a guy with a January 11th birthday in NASCAR. Either way, whatever. So yeah, just an interesting little piece that I noticed after I saw Haim took the dub. So yeah, his second win in the Cup Series, and he doesn't even race in the Cup Series. Yeah, we can. What it's a somewhat interesting too is the 67 car winning. When you have everyone buzzing about the 76ers, it's just 6-7, 7-6 type of thing. But not saying that is prevalent. It's just interesting. Let's actually see the standings. Where did everybody finish? Thanks. Middle of the pack, Jack. Yeah, I saw that Larson crash like really early on. The previous winner, Bubba, didn't come close. Top 10, Reddick just squeaked into top 10. Hocevar was actually, from what I saw, not the highlights, but did he take a stage? I think he might have gotten close to taking a stage or something. Anyway, so he ran a good race too. But. So yeah. And keep in mind, guys, this guy is going to be the face of 23XI next season. So it's going to be, I think that, first of all, I want to say, or at least a amendment to my idea that Zilich might be a instant winner. Well, obviously he hasn't won yet, but me and Austin had speculated that they probably plan on using him right away. That might not be the case. A lot of sports, the more I thought about thinking about it, especially with this guy who's going to be in the Cup Series next year, a lot of times what they like to do is have like a class that they focus on. And think about it in the NBA, NFL, they do it in every sport. They'll have like a rotation, a class rotation of guys that are like staples for that injection of people into the league. And so I could really see them using, obviously, Gibbs is still young and he's relatively new. And, he's been racing better. So you can have Gibbs, Zilich, Hocevar. Who else was it? Who was the other young gun? Is he in yet? Or maybe it's something I'm someone else I'm thinking. It's not in the Cup Series yet. That's a young gun. Yeah, I'm just not as super familiar with all these guys. Definitely not this guy. Never look at this guy though. So yeah, I'm not 100%. Who is this kid? Okay, well, this kid, he got a nice name. I'd look out with this name, but die, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. But yeah, there's what I could perceive as a class of young guns coming up and coming, and so Zilich might have to wait for a little bit so that they can build that like drama and and what am I thinking? Not well, the drama comes from son of a bitch. Anyway, the multiple guys vying for to be the best new driver, the competition between them will be a selling point. So the reason why I think Zilich might have to wait is because it's kind of fractured right now. You have Heim coming in races and winning them. Meanwhile, Zilich is really yet to have any kind of great race. And yeah, so they might just be building this for next year potentially. So I wouldn't be surprised if Zilich didn't even get on the board this year. Maybe just scores a couple top fives and decides to call that a success for a first year kind of thing. We'll see where he stands at the points. We can look at that here in a minute. I don't think it's very good, but we'll see where he finishes as far as the Cup standings. But yeah, really, I wasn't able to look ahead into this race. Like I said, the only thing I spotted was there was another, a Davey death in the news, just like last time he won. So kind of interesting. Potentially needs to be, looked into more. He's the guy who died has that January 11th birthday, which now I almost want to just look up NASCAR drivers' birthdays because I'm almost positive there's a guy with a January 11th birthday. Man, it's bugging me. Well, if you guys know, leave it in the comments and I'll look into it. But either way, we do have our co-host ready to go. So what is going on, Truth Shaman?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Pretty well. Not bad.
Best you can hope for nowadays.
Correct. Yeah. I'm alive. I got a beat in my chest and a breath, man. That's all I can ask, I guess.
So yeah, I was just I didn't get a chance to look at the race at all. But we had our boy Corey Heim pick up another win outside of the Cup Series.
I saw this. Why does he have 0 points?
Because he doesn't race in the Cup Series. He's like a guest driver, but like 2 of those guest appearances he's won. Yeah. So yeah, I was speculating that me and Austin had talked at length about Zilich because they went hard with Zilich last year, like really hard in the Xfinity Series. I mean, they had him lose at the end, but it was pretty much unanimous. He was the best driver. He won like over 10 races, like more than that, I think. He ended up losing to points or the playoffs because they had a similar format. So he just lost because he didn't win the races at the end. But anyway, but yeah, they did a big Masonic ritual with him and him getting injured and all sorts of stuff. And then, of course, he came in and he takes SVG's number 88. And which is just odd. It's just odd to take an established driver's number. I mean, me and Austin know why they did it because this has a lot to do with a former driver. Austin, me and Austin talked about it so much now it's leaving my head. But yeah, the guy who drove the John Deere car and
Chad Little.
Yeah, it's so much about Chad Little who is a mainstream. He's on the mainstream storyline in the off season. It's just nobody know. Like it's crazy how they do it. He's a attorney for NASCAR, so he's on the rules committee. So very interesting, and it's so funny how they do it. They got this mullet guy from the 90s, just like he's the law guy. But yeah, it's as weird as it is. He had a lot to do with Greg Biffle's death and a lot of interesting things. But yeah, I mean, you now have SVG driving his number or his previous number, and anyway.
I see that third place, 22, Joe Logano. We got the 322. Wink, wink.
And Bell's in there at second. I'll say the first thing I noticed is that Bell, he won of all the Cup drivers. He finished first, or he finished best, but he was the best loser. But we've been
second how many times this year?
He's been very close. I was just about to look at points, so
I think in the last 4 races he's come in second. I think 3 times.
Let's check.
Oh, Bubba Wallace.
Why did it go back to that? I have no idea why it went back all the way to that one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the last 3 races, he's been top 5. I would not be surprised if he's like sitting like 3rd or 4th in point standings. And that's the interesting thing about the chase format is he very well could find himself at winning in the end if he keeps it up. He's sitting 10th. He did have a pretty abysmal start to the season, but if he keeps this up and he like picks off a stage here or two, here or there, I'm sure he'll find himself. He's not that far behind. How many more races? I don't know how many races there are. It's like 36. So there's 10 more races. Okay, so he is a bit behind, but those points can make up pretty quickly. If Denny's not going to top 5 and Reddick's not going to top 5 and Blaney's not going to top 5 and he is, then those points can build up pretty quick.
Especially if they have some of the top 5 up there in points, DNF at a race or so. A couple of them do a DNF.
Yeah, we had Larson just DNF early on. And
well, I mean, actually, all it really take is who's number 1?
Denny.
Yeah, like Denny or Reddick. I mean, they're the only 2 that have crested 800. But I mean, damn, Denny's almost at 900. He's stomping this shit.
Yeah, those can be made up though. True. Points can kind of come fast. I mean, look at Ty Gibbs sitting 4th. Dude, if he makes a push at the end, that'd be surprising, and that would play into what I was just talking about with the young guns and them building because you got to think about it. Like Denny's, he's up there. He's old. A lot of these drivers have kind of like crested their prime, and it's not to say that they can't use them to still win. But they always do that. Like there's always like an older veteran guy to root for and everything. But that's not what they build their brand on. They build their brand on the injection of like new blood and the rivalry. That's the word I was thinking of before.
Imagine that. I think you worded it perfectly. I think that you might be onto something there. Is the symbolism you bringing in the new blood.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they already paid for. I'm positive they have paid for it. But yeah, you would have guys like Ty Gibbs, Zilich, and Heim, as well as there's that Dye character who I've seen here and there. I don't know what series he races in, but I could look it up. But Daniel Dye, he's 22 years old too, so there's a lot of young.
His last name Dye, his initials. Yep. ED 44, you know what I mean?
It's a fateful name for sure.
Yeah.
And in this race, Hocevar was racing very well. But yeah.
Hey, so this picture right here, this is from where he just won the Brickyard. This was today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, let's see this. I don't think it's an accident that it's making the word Indian instead of Indianapolis. Indian Speed. I don't know. I think that's on purpose, dude.
Indianapolis is that one of those 201s always harken back to, because they have 2 races. They have the Brickyard and the 500, obviously.
What do you know what season this is of NASCAR? I don't know how they break it down. I mean, sometimes
Like the modern Cup Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when the modern era started. I guess this will tell us. Is Daniel dying? What the hell? What? What? 55th season of modern era. That's interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Very. And Jeff Gordon's at the top with 93 wins in the modern era. And I believe Jeff Gordon equals 55. So it'd be interesting if Hendrick took the cup again. They did win last year.
Where it says Richard Petty's in 6th with 60. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, Bobby Allison and Rusty Wallace are both tied for 55. I wonder if there's something to that. I mean, Bobby Allison, that's a sacrifice. He died in the middle of his career. Helicopter crash too, dude. Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah, I was actually just peeking at that. Let's see.
Yeah, I remember like when that happened, I was like a little kid.
What's interesting?
It was his son, Davey Allison.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was just picking at it. Yeah. Why I brought up Davey Allison was because of the Davey deaths on each time Corey Haim has won. A Davey has been in the news dying. And because remember, we had the Davey Chase girl. That was his first win. And then now you have this Jordan Davey, Patriots player die. And but yeah, Davey Allison, we covered that helicopter. Do you know how many NASCAR drivers have died in plane and helicopter aviation crashes? I mean, counting Gray Biffle's another one.
Right.
There's a lot. There's a massive list.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it gets crazier the more you start reading them. It's just like, wait, what? Like it's wild how they like guys. I believe that Allison character is the guy who died on the track. Like he tried landing his helicopter on the track, and the rotor like hit the steep wall or something like that.
Yeah, because I remember he drove the Haviland car, and after he passed away, my favorite race car driver when I was a little kid was Ernie Irvan, and Ernie Irvan took over driving the Texaco Haviland after he passed away. Yeah, 93. So I was 6 years old, But yeah, and that wound up being my favorite driver that drove the Haviland car. That's kind of how I found out about, all this happening. I was too young to had been following on point with it, but it's just because my favorite driver drove that car. And then that was what was tied to it, was that he took over driving this car after Davey Allison died in a helicopter crash. I had an iguana around that time. I got an iguana. I named him Ernie after my favorite NASCAR driver, Ernie Irvan.
That's cool, but dude, this is crazy. So it's just weird how all this piles up. You have Gordon sitting at 93 wins in the modern era. You have Red Farmer, who's currently 93, the survivor of the crash with Davey Allison. That happened in 93. So I don't know. That's just weird. Doesn't seem like a coincidence to me. No,
absolutely not. He never let a good ritual sacrifice go to waste.
Absolutely. What is
Look at that? See that? The 322 just popped out on something. One of his stats. What was that? Arca. Yeah, I guess it's
3 wins, 22 top 10s.
3 wins, 22 top 10s. We see over there.
Does he have a? A lot of times they'll put the personal below all of that stuff. Hold on. Let's try to see where he went to school. He did grow up in Tennessee. Interesting. Yeah, he's still kicking at 93. I wouldn't be surprised to see Red Farmer be on one of these next, because it's kind of dry. It's like they did. I guess they hit two pretty big names this season, or one in the off season and one in the middle of it. Obviously,
yeah, dude, NASCAR. That's what we just got used to, desensitized to where almost it's like expected. Like, who's gonna die this week? What they've had someone die on Saturday or Sunday right before a race. I think 2 times this year at least.
He's a member of the Alabama gang. Oh shit!
Yeah,
bro, he currently competes part-time.
What, dude? Oh man!
God damn, bro! I gotta find it. I gotta see it.
Wow.
Red Farmer.
I mean, hey, you gotta salute a little bit at 93 to. I can't even imagine 93. What it probably feels like just to step out of bed in the morning. It's like, oh, never mind. Oh. It's kind of crazy, like how small the world is in a sense, because you see, I mean, Bass Pro is such a sponsor, such an integral part of NASCAR. And Bass Pro started where I pretty much grew up. I'm down in Georgia now. I grew up in Springfield, Missouri, and that's where Bass Pro started. It started out of the back of just a little bait and tackle in the back of a liquor store chain called Brown Derby around there. And what is it? Morris, his dad is the one who started it. And then he's the one who's taken over it. But his son, John Paul Morris, I guess Jr. or whatever, is my age. And he didn't go to my school. He went to like a better, like a private school or whatever. But I we would end up at parties through like middle school era into high school. We would be at same parties, and we knew of each other. Definitely weren't friends necessarily, but acquaintance for sure. And it's just crazy just to think about how, I mean, the Morrises are in an elite family. They're in the elite circle, period.
Yeah. When it comes to like those kind of stories, which, when was both Bass Pro Shop founded? Let's take a look.
I want to say in the 60s, early 60s. I'm going to go with 62.
72. So not that late, but here's the thing. These things happen all the time and they have different stories. But like when you get these, like a podunk becoming a conglomerate, a lot of the times, it's just, that's how they've always done it. They like establish, what is the word? They establish like their legacy, or I guess legacy is a good word for it, but they'll establish their background, their history of their corporation through somebody. Do I think Johnny Morris wasn't destined to be the face of this franchise and take something? Like what I'm saying is it's easier to appear grassroots and have a grassroots backstory and for people to buy into it rather than just like, pop up, look at McDonald's. Oh, it was just like a tiny little burger shop. And they just were like, well, heck, why don't I just damn make the cheapest burgers? And gosh darn it, I'll use the goodest stuff and we'll be just the bestest stuff. And they all have these little stupid little stories about their founding and everything, as if the founding wasn't like
destined and strategically
clandestine. Yeah, exactly.
It was strategically set up. It was never going to fail. Look at
KFC and places like that. These are, a lot of these places are, there's a lot of secret societies involved, but Masonic and fraternal orders abound. With these little pop-ups that end up becoming.
It's like I'm totally right. I wanted to point out. Look at the AI overview. It's like pretty much exactly everything I just said.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I think that proves your point of what you're saying, that what I just regurgitated, that is, especially I'm gonna know that because I grew up in that area. Like I said, somewhat just out, acquaintance with his son. So same age as his son. We could be Eskimo brothers. I don't even know. I mean, that's totally possible, but that's the story. Like, this is the story. That's why the AI overview just brought up specifically everything I talked about was right in that little paragraph. Is like the main points of what I said. In Springfield, Missouri, back of a liquor store, okay. So this, you pretty much, if you talk about Bass Pros, especially its founding, this has to be mentioned. And obviously it works, because what did I say when I started bringing this up? This is exactly what I talked about. You know what I mean? Their origin, founding story, grassroots, but,
it's a good example of how they do it to this day.
Dude, wow. You know what I mean? And I've partied with his son. This dude's 8.5 billion.
He didn't even let you borrow $5.
Dude, I wouldn't want that blood money. You can keep your blood money.
But yeah, it's a good example of how this is a continual way of control, really. The control of the narrative, control of the trajectory of the economy, and where they sit in it, the elites and the ruling class, because I'm not saying every construction firm is ran by a elite's son or daughter or cousin or anything like that. It's not like that. These things they're like co-opted. And they'll bring, it's not everybody is allowed into the innermost circle. It's like, think of a Venn diagram. You have like in the middle, you have all, the intersect of the tops of all these groups, but the outsides of the groups that don't intersect that middle circle, they're not invited to the, to the blood orgies, but at the end of the day, they're still the front facing managers and bosses and CEOs for the people that do. And so, and they give these people these grassroots stories, and it's just like it's very similar to like the NASA idea that NASA has hundreds of thousands of employees. All of them go home to their regular folks and tell them about their regular job. So you have all this anecdotal evidence about regular NASA and how it's ran, its reality, and everything is up to snuff, and it's real, and it works, when I think it's pretty clear that they've been fudging some numbers. But that's just kind of how they keep. It's very similar to the 9/11 phenomena. How everybody knew had aunts, cousins, dogs, vet, second brother-in-law that died at 9/11 or on 9/11. And that just keeps the myth of it able to be controlled. Nobody. It puts like any feasible chink in the armor, like way back in the priority list. That's how they do it. They'll get you asking a question about something. It's not that they don't want you to ask a question. It's just they want you to ask the right question. That question they want you to ask, and you don't realize that they're doing it. It's psychology, and so they will fish out. They'll make you think that you're asking the right question about any conspiracy or whatever, but in reality, they've hidden the thing that you should be asking about 5 steps back. So instead of asking like how how certain elites were moving during COVID or something like that, you'll have people wondering about, well, why was Walmart able to do that? Why was the CEO of Walmart? It's just like, or maybe not the CEO of Walmart. He's in on it, but they'll be thinking of like so many steps down from the actual place that you need to be questioning, that the questions aren't going to go backwards. They're not going to retrace their steps. They're just going to keep asking further questions, building off the one that they initially asked, and the one they initially asked is 5 steps away from where they should have started, so they're never going to find. And it's very controlled op. They also have people do that on purpose, but even the layman is going to more often than not ask the wrong question when it comes to any kind of conspiracy or thing of that nature, because they already have us like programmed 5 steps ahead from where we should be looking at. But yeah, I'm interested in this Johnny Morris guy. What a name.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is mind blowing. Oh, dude, like Drury University, private university right there in Springfield, one of the colleges there. Yeah, I wonder. Big Cedar Lodge, great golf there, by the way. If anyone ever goes to the Branson, Missouri area, go to Big Cedar. There's awesome golf courses there.
Bro, you know what these golf courses are?
Well, they're hiding stuff underneath there.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Especially dude, look at Big Cedar. Look at this, dude. They excavated. This is kind of like right along what you're just talking about. So when they were building this course, it's relatively new-ish. I mean, the construction on it was forever, but these courses are just opening up like within the last like 10 years. Tiger Woods has a course there now, his own course, where the PGA Tour is going to have an event in Branson, Missouri, sure enough. But you see how it's all in the caves and stuff? When they were making these golf courses and the part they released to the public or whatever, they did acknowledge and talk about all these caves and all these Native American artifacts that were all found. And so that's what part of why it took so long, is because they had to adjust construction plans because they come across all this ancient civilizations evidence, you know what I mean? And it's all on a guy's property. He owns all this. This Johnny Morris, by the way, is what I meant. He owns all these courses.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so a guy with $8.5 billion, that's definitely not in an elite circle at all, is sitting right on top of a whole bunch of ancient artifacts. You know what I mean? What are we going to know about that? They're going to throw us a couple arrowheads, maybe a broken piece of pottery, and we're going to be like, this is amazing, but what'd you really find? You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sure he's sitting on some radium springs, probably a aquifer or two. That's key. They love controlling the water, the fresh water, and keeping us thinking that, we're always in a state of without, when the truth is.
Scroll down a second there. So I grew up in Springfield. He literally went to my high school. I went to Glendale High School. That's where I graduated.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Glendale, that's another name they like to use multiple times. Where did Glendale get its name?
Into it, but the university he went to, the organic side of what we just saw there is out of this world. I can't really get into it because it wouldn't be smart on my end to really point out just how crazy organic side that is right there. But
a narrow valley. Yeah, I was going to say there's Glendale, California, Glendale, Arizona. That'd be something interesting to do. Go look at all these repeat names everywhere.
You see where it said Brown Derby in his early life right there? You scroll down. It talks about the liquor store that it was in. I guess it's career. My bad. This career section. There it is, Brown Derby. Click the Brown Derby. See if it'll pull it up, dude. I just want to point out their logo's badass. Oh, they don't even have the logo on it. Damn. All right, never mind. My bad. I just think their logo's cool, dude. You know what I mean?
What kind of hat is that? It's not a bowler, is it? Kind of like one.
Yeah.
Or maybe no. Aren't they called the Derby? They're Derby. Yeah. I'm tripping.
Yeah, it's just cool.
Pretty sure it's because that's the hat you wear at the horse derby too.
Well, I see that one right there with the red roof or front facade. The picture, the image of the. Oh, dude. I mean, stomping grounds right there. The one right there with the post in front of it. That's right across from Missouri State University is where I went to college. That's right there on campus. There's a Panera right next to it. You know how many hours I crunch studying there? Man. Waste of time, guys. Do not go to university. University is a fraud. Stay away.
And derbies are it's kind of like an excuse to have a fashion show. That's really what derbies are. It's like 20% racing, horse or animal racing, because there's dog racing too. But and the 80% it's a social event. It's a gala, it's a ball type of thing. But like there's like, I think a large part of derbies are hat competitions. Like who has the best hat. I know it is for females for sure. Females will wear crazy hats. Like that's like a main thing, is they'll wear hats that are just outrageous. So that's interesting. Where all that stuff is top down from the royalty and how they function in their high society, just like we're talking about the etiquette in the South and things of that nature, bourgeoisie and that kind of stuff.
It's a status flex for sure. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, this guy's worth looking into. I'm assuming. Oops, I think I just exited out completely. Dang it. Oh well. Just for point of reference, what was that guy? What was that guy's name again?
Johnny Morris.
Johnny. Need the Morris book.
And hold on. I can't remember. I think it was no H, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, was it no H?
I think it was no H. I'm not like I just messed up on that, dude, for the WNBA 3-point contest with one of the players.
It says H on most of them.
Okay, never mind. My bad. Yeah, you're right.
But it doesn't ever say his middle name. He just has a middle initial, which is interesting when you come across that kind of stuff. He's got that fit. Wow. Hold up. Johnny, hold up. Don't tell me you're in any kind of clubs, Johnny. Come on.
No.
You're in any clubs?
He's big on that 65. I think Johnny Morris and John L. Morris were both 65.
Yeah, that was. Johnny boy, we see you. But yeah, just he just grew up catching a bass. Bitch didn't catch nothing. They handed him that thing. Here, take a picture. No, I'm not saying it. It's just the trajectory that these people go through. It's just like motherfucker owns a pyramid. So it's just like, how do you go from, you guys want some of these damn there spirits at them? You want some tackle? You get a free case of beer if you get 8 tackles and a new rod. And then you just come into some money and be like, oh, you know what I fucking need? I need a golf course and a pyramid. I need to own some Indian burial ground. I need to own some of that shit, and I need a pyramid. So if anybody how do I get that shit now that I have some money? Yeah, it's just these people are not real. And
my theory would be, okay, I mean, he is bait and tackle in the back of a liquor store, right? I know Springfield, Missouri. I lived there for years. So I'm thinking it might have just been a little difficult, especially back in the 70s, maybe. Carter was in, we had the gas, the economy just took a hit in the 70s. So, it was probably kind of difficult for the tequila. You couldn't get the worm in the tequila, but we got a guy over here. He's got a bait and tackle.
We got both
worms in you got a bottle of tequila. Here's your worm, buddy. You don't drink it. You just let it go down in there, apparently. So you just don't drink the worm, man.
Fish on.
I mean, why don't they make that the story? I think that would be a cool start. It's like the tequila didn't have a worm. Johnny Morris, he's your man.
I just don't even to be honest, I don't even really get what they're talking about. Like, what do you? Look, maybe you do, but like, whose main entrepreneurial spirit leads them to try to sell bait and tackle? It's like, how do you pick? Do you just got a really lush piece of land of dirt and you just got a worm bin? And like, where do you start? Where do you decide, you know what? Hey, Pa, it's all good if I crack the back door open and see if anybody wants to use their worms? Or what, do you know a blacksmith who's like making your hooks for you? Like, what were they? Aluminum pop cans or something? What was the methodology? Where did the enterprise arrive from? Where was your inventory tracked to?
Right. Well, I could have sworn it was his dad, but I think I was wrong because it said it was him. But there's his dad, John A. Morris, founder, lead outfit.
Yeah.
What? 1606? No. What? What are we talking about?
That's a little bit of a jump. All right, look, he's older than he looks.
I mean, this dude's off grid apparently somewhat.
He's really, he's looking good for 400. So
1606. All right.
I mean, then again, if he was embalmed in that pyramid and then they just resurrected him, that kind of fits that 400-year timeline.
That's kind of crazy. I mean, dude, it is saying like it even puts his partner Elizabeth offled, whatever, 1582. Well, I mean, what is? I think there's some records fudging going on, man. Something smells weird. Or I mean, maybe he is. He's in the elite circle now. Maybe this is a reptilian bloodline. They live for hundreds of years. This is proof.
It's in World War II. The Battle of the Bulge. Had that battle every morning.
He's got the 8.1 billion on that one right there.
Yeah, it might be tough to find out too much about his
That's
dad.
probably it. I saw John A. Morris the third. That's probably who it is. Colonel John, maybe that. No. Never mind. That guy is a crazy person. You see all that look on his face, man. Anyone that has that look in their eye, run.
Here we go, Missouri. He was a civic leader and a banker. Well, there you go. Banker turned liquor tycoon. Wow, what a route.
He passed away on February 8th.
What the fuck? His father's name is Mount Etna?
Wow.
Wait, hold up. What? John was born to Mount Etna. And is this guy a god? Is this guy a legendary god? And Helen Adamson Morris.
The February 8th day to pass away, you can see that 8/2, like right now, currently, Johnny Morris has 8.2 billion.
He was born on 12/12.
66 years.
God damn, same woman? Whew. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Oh, I was just gonna say, boom. Okay. Beta Theta Pi. I don't know if I've heard of that one necessarily. That's not like a. Let's see. Let's take a quick look. Let's go incrementally here, guys.
Yeah, the Greek life is so weird, dude. The Greek life is strange. 8/8, August 8th.
See their crest.
Is that a griffin or is that a dog? Oh, it's a griffin, I guess. Kind of looks like, I don't even know.
I think it's just a dragon.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Guys, you guys need to look into the 3-letter organizations, which is what these are. And it's so funny that all the leaders of the 3-letter organizations went to a 3-letter organization in college. Very interesting how that pipeline kind of works. But
More than 223,000. It's got the 322 in reverse.
150 active chapters like that. So it's pretty much all the colleges, almost all colleges offer it, is what they're saying. A lot of these fraternities get such strange starts. If you guys look into the foundings of the fraternities, a lot of the times it has to do with mixing of fraternities too. Like it'll be like being left out of a certain group starts a new one type of deal. Almost all of the time it's like that, which is very secret society-ish, as in like Masonic, because a lot of fraternal organizations stem just like Masonry does, but a lot of them stem from being in their founding, being basically turned away from Masonry or left out in some way or not helped in some way. I'm reminded of the Orange Men. They're a group that formed off the back of Masons that were unhappy with the amount of perks that Freemasonry gave them, so they started their own group. I think they owe the mob money too.
If you scroll down right there, I mean, they're playing on the 8 hard. Where was it? Yeah, fraternity, August 8th, 8 male students. Miami University. I know 1988 was a big year for them. I think they might have won the national championship in 1988. I think I can't remember why the 88 with University of Miami. I don't know if the school equals it. I think it's
they did not win a game.
No, I thought it was Miami, Florida. My bad.
Oh no, University of Miami, Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, Miami. No, they did have Ben Roethlisberger though there for a minute. That was pretty.
Oh wait, is it Miami University? Oh no, in Oxford, Ohio.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know why they say it like that. Is there another one? No? I think it's just in sports they're considered Miami of Ohio.
I just want to point out, just to pay attention anytime Wikipedia does this. And I think it's kind of, you can tell AI is kind of doing these things. And when it's really heavy on the number repetition, like we just pointed out the August 8th, 8 male students. And then a minute ago, I pointed out the 223 in reverse right there. We'll look right up above it. This 223, the year they're playing on those numbers just hard, and it always catches my eye. And it's like, oh, August 8 male students. And then 2023, 223,000. Like, I mean, it's either, I don't know. I could be speaking through numbers or whatever, but what are the odds that it's literally hitting those numbers? Of course they can fudge it or round it or whatever, but that just is intentional number play,
Yeah, of course.
Or evidence that, AI writing something and maybe it just, goes heavy on that.
Well, they'll tell you AI is, it's a learned thing. So it's not AI just coming up with it. It's
right. True.
Anyway, we can probably put off looking into the background of this, but I'm kind of still curious of this here. John continues to support his alma mater and blah, blah, blah. President of University of Missouri National Alumni Association. His country as an enlisted officer in the U.S. Army stationed at Fort Lawton, Washington. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know how it is. Honorably discharged in 1948. Sure he was. After earning his undergraduate degree, John continued his education and received his MBA from the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Finance. I need to know how to sell this goddamn liquor. Tell you what. My son, when I don't know, my son's gonna know. He's gonna know how to sell a bottle. In 1951, John began his employ. I guess.
Oh my God! Wait, just scroll down to that big paragraph and get it. Like, look 3 lines down. You called it. You called it. It literally tells you directly he was a Mason, a 32nd degree too. It's on the second line now. And that John was always active. Jefferson City, second. Yeah. Boom.
Boom. Indeed. Well, there you go. So, do I think that Grandpappy Morris did not initiate his son and grandson into said organization. No, you can't convince me of that crap. Can you convince me that, oh yeah, I'm just selling bait and tackle and I got nothing else going on with my life, and I'll just stumble into owning a pyramid and Indian burial grounds? Yeah, no. And why Freemasons have swept up so much of the land. And I say Freemasons, it's not like you're going to track down a Masonic lodge that's responsible, but the people within those lodges are the ones responsible. Like I said, it's basically a hydra you're dealing with. There's multi heads to the thing, but it all goes back to knowledge suppression and gaining and suppression. They have to own the narrative. And it's honestly, I think I was talking to you a while back. You kind of gotta not sympathize, but yeah, I guess you have to understand why people would do evil. Like, don't just be like, oh, I could never. Oh, it's just like, oh my gosh. No, shut the fuck up and understand why they would. Understand that there would be a power dynamic in play that they will benefit heavily from, that their kids will benefit heavily from. You ask anyone struggling in today's world, hey, do you want a free leg up? Hey, do you want to be initiated into an organization that's always going to look out for you as long as you look out for them? Hey, take away the evil. Honestly, we should all be doing something similar. We should all have some sort of, that's why I say there's always something to be learned. It's not to emulate evil, but the structure that they use is one that works. Obviously. Look, I mean, for those who can't see, you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, but obviously it works. It works very, very well with very little dissension. That's the thing. Very low dissension rates. My kids dissent from me. Like I'm their world and they still dissent from me. Masons rarely ever will. Rarely. And I don't even believe that the ones that do aren't controlled up, because that's just the aura they have built up around the whole situation. But yeah, good.
I think denial is just so thick, man. I think denial is just so prevalent, and I think a lot of that goes into conditioning and programming and everything. But the denial is so thick that everybody wants to think and or believe that they're so altruistic until they're presented with a temptation. And then it's way more often or common that they give into the temptation and just
look at his celebration of life on the 17th day of the 17th year, and he was a Freemason.
Yeah, 217. Again, this is like repeating the same number.
Look at the address. 10017.
Yeah. And you got the pi ratio right there.
And he was buried in a Freemason cemetery. So, yeah, that's 722. That's interesting. Pythagoras, you bastard, you done it again. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, but like the first Masonic lodge was founded in the year 1717, and Mason equals 17.
I mean, yeah, that Mason 17 all over his, and that was pretty much a lot in reference to his passing away. It's not really talking about where he grew up.
It's not like a day his
death is 17. Boom.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm kind of glad I went in and looked at Pops.
Yeah, I'm
glad you were all that.
Awesome. Mind blowing.
So the only other thing I had on the docket, really, I was gonna try to leave some time to peruse the news. I don't know if anything else is popped up, but obviously one of the main stories this week is this clown dominating headlines like he always has. Always been the center of attention since he came into the league. He continues to. But he basically kept up a big drama show, and finally signed with the team, being the Sixers. And obviously, there's so many things to talk about with it, with the Kobe ritual. And for those of you who don't know, Kobe, grew up in Philadelphia and played for the Lakers. Now you have LeBron go from the Lakers to Philadelphia. A lot of parallels, a lot of interesting stuff going on. But just the other idea that they are continuing to build super teams around him. And that's kind of been the controversy that he specifically brought to the league. If you guys don't remember, the Miami Heat being like the first major one that was like, I'm sure there's been many throughout the years, but I guess none highlighted as much as like their Miami team, the Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron. There was other figures involved in that. But just the idea that you have, teams, so far ahead. It's we talk about basketball enough on here. Basketball represents why it's not a good idea, because that's what basketball was. That's actually what basketball is all about. Is about corporatization of a game, mm-hmm. of a sport, of something that is built on competition, taking that competition out of it, taking it and manipulating the competition. So that's kind of what he's been the focus on since he came in. Of course, they'll always say, "Oh, but he brought Cleveland a championship," and blah blah blah.
Well, it's kind of interesting because you bringing up the Miami thing. When he went to Miami, I'm pretty sure they were doing, if I remember correctly, if I'm visualizing it correctly, it was Bosh, Wade, and LeBron James, and they were kind of on a stage, and they had mics, and it was kind of like an interview. I don't know, chopping it up after the big three. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's when he said his quote was like, in reference to how many championships they're going to win. He goes, not one, not two, not three, not four. And I'm wondering where he stopped. I know he at least said went to 4, but I know he's on 4 championships right now. And Zach was talking about how he could be 6-6 in the finals. Like he's got 66 all over his name and everything else, in reference to the King James Bible, all sorts. But, yeah, because I think he's on 4 right now. And so it'd be interesting to see, because if he said back then in this interview or whatever it was,
might be it. Let's see.
Yeah.
7. Oh yeah, I remember this now.
The 7?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Look at that. We were just talking about the 66. This video has 66,000 views with LeBron James. LeBron James video has 66K. Okay. LeBron 66. LeBron James 66.
3 kings came down here it's so crazy. What, dude? Get on your knees, bitch. Get on your knees. Gonna call the 3 grown men kings. And it's all, the connotation here is absolutely brutal, but I won't even get into it. Let's see. That you 3 kings came down here to win championships. Not 1 championship. LeBron tells us about that. Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Wow.
And D-Wade's just laughing. It's just like they all understand the script. LeBron knows he's leaving in a few years, and they're just going to dominate, and then he's going to dip. That's funny.
Well, I mean, dude, the fact that
that's a misleading thing. LeBron says the Heat will win 7 titles. He said not 7.
Right. Yeah. But people will read that headline, and then that's what they'll go forward with, and that's what their belief is right there. It seems so innocent, and it might be on something like this. It's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme for a normal person's life. But it's just how easily that happens. Someone will just read that, take it, and that's fact. That's truth, right?
Good point.
He's won 3. Okay, never mind.
Well, the Heat have. D Wade has 3.
Oh, the Heat. Okay.
Because Shaq. This was right before he retired. He got caught another one, and then I think went to Boston after that, which is interesting because Ray Allen went from Boston to the Heat. I believe he was on a championship team with the Heat.
It was the fact that the decision for LeBron, King James, and it wound up being the exact day in history where King James became the 6th king of Scotland. Like, that's wild.
Well, that's quite interesting because I have King James pulled up here because I did want to point that out. I did not know that it was the same day, though. That's fun.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing.
Let's say, let's just go. Oh, wait, they said it right there. July 24th. So,
well, that's July 24th. There it is. Yep. I mean, that's the same day that King James. I mean,
what's interesting as well is just him going to the 76ers and King James's integral role in the colonization of America, but also the subsequent revolution, which took place in 1776. So, I mean, that's what the Sixers. That's where the whole modern. That's where they get their namesake from. So. Makes sense esoterically why they have. I mean, LeBron's always done stuff in relation to anniversaries and dates surrounding King James, 100%.
Yeah.
Down to playing for the Cavaliers anyway. I think a lot of people already know about that.
He's arguably like the biggest athlete and this is in my opinion. He's arguably like the biggest, most well-known, biggest platform athlete to be so openly ritualistic, like with like the throwing of the powder. And I mean, he just has all these rituals is what they are. I mean, it's blatantly right in your face. The symbolism's there, his chest tattoo, all this,
Kobe was up there. Kobe did a lot of esoteric.
You're correct. I mean, what, 81 on his 666, man, come on.
That is among other things for sure. His 666 workout too.
Yeah.
Just comparing himself to like a venomous snake as well. And being involved with like pharmaceuticals companies suing you at the end of the day when.
What does that say? March 1603. We just watched that video of him when he went to the Heat and LeBron James was wearing number 6. Dwayne Wade was wearing number 3 and Chris Bosh was wearing number 1.
Is that true?
Yeah, I was looking at their jerseys whenever we were just watching that video, and they were sitting right there. It wasn't in that order. It was 6, 3, 1. But
no,
yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
It's all the same numbers,
Why is the overview taking over my choice to select images? Okay. What? You seeing this? What?
Yeah,
why can't I select images? Is it because this is too
option?
No, it just took my whole thing away.
It's listening. The AI overview is listening. It was like, that's a good point. Don't pull up the pictures, bro.
There's no way they wouldn't have like a link to the images.
Oh, that one almost shows
it. I
it.
knew D Wade, and I just. Yeah, there we go. Chris Bosh is number 1. Oh, shit. Yeah. Nice, dude. Nice catch. That's I bet that's not a coincidence at all.
It's not an
That's
accident. For sure.
hilarious.
Yeah. There it is. It says England and Ireland 1603 after Queen Elizabeth I died, uniting the two countries into one. Okay. Union of the Crowns. I wonder what the gematria of Union of the Crowns would be. You know what I mean?
Union of the Crown sounds like something they're doing in a cellar somewhere right now.
Right.
$84.78. That's interesting. But anyway, let's King James is most notable for his printing, or his acquiescing, not acquiescing, what the fuck is the word, where he commissioned the Bible to be reprinted in English. So it's one of the many retellings and shuffling of the stories and things of that nature. The Bible is kind of ultimately one of the biggest. It is probably the biggest, maybe. Legend stories are, legend maker prompts. It allows the making of legends, and not just the people in the story, but those who have affected it outside of the story, such as King James, such as popes and emperors and kings and queens that have affected the story, or have made their impactful mark surrounding the Bible. Look at obviously Martin Luther, things of that nature. The back and forth with religions and the church, they're able to kind of create legends through a story or a book about really creating legends. The disciples are legends. Jesus is a legend, and I'm not saying they couldn't have existed. I'm not here to make that argument. I don't really care to make that argument. I honestly don't care if they ever existed. And one thing that's kind of popped up, since we're on the topic of religion, I know it's kind of forced here. I don't know what your ideas are on religion necessarily. I don't know if we've ever gotten too deep into that yet. But here's my main takeaway with religion, or let's just say Christianity, for sake of argument. I don't agree that saying that there is a God means that God, I don't like the dumbing down of what it means to be a human that comes along with modern religions or religious theology. I don't like that people are convinced to sit on their hands and not think that anything is, or get close to thinking that most things aren't worth fighting for because there's a clandestine fate or something coming that they're, which, first of all, it's kind of blasphemy. What I think it undermines their whole point. They want you, because any religion is it's open. They want more people to represent the religion so the religion can grow and they can be a bigger group. And in all forms of religion, it is for power purposes. But never mind all that. Let's just say they want to be swinging the biggest dick in the room, whatever. Let's say they're doing it for their deity. If your deity is like, hell yeah, look at all these fucking losers that like me. Look at all these nobodies who aren't willing to do anything but like stick their tongue out and pretend that I'm talking to them and put money in an offering plate and show up every holy day that the book says to, and otherwise just be condescending, otherwise just be stagnant and just waiting for something to happen that really they should, if they are what they are pretending to be, they should know that only I would know what that is. And so for them to pretend to is almost blasphemy. It is blasphemy. But then on top of that, what kind of God am I? Like, these are the people I'm waiting for. These are the people that I'm about to do my big show for. And to think that they think that, oh, I should be the lowest form of myself. I should be nothing. I should do nothing. I should want for nothing. I should not, and I'm not saying carnal things, but I'm saying I should, if I'm being taken advantage of, I should just do nothing about it. I should just look at it and say, oh, thank you. Can I please have some more? And like, what? You're diminishing the God that you're praising. You diminish him. For the ladies out there, you diminish the creator in that aspect to me. And I definitely believe in divine creation. I do. I don't need anyone to come and convince me personally. To me, it's way more logical than just about any other thing. I would say the only thing that gets even remotely close in any kind of facet is like kind of new agey kind of shit with the whole like simulation type thing. Only because I think that there's a interlink between what those things are, our creation and our ongoing, whatever this is, mortal coil with simulation in a way. And I can explain that in another episode, because I do want to have like a religious episode, or not a religious episode, but a theologistic episode, or explaining or not debunking necessarily like I know, but explaining our takes on certain things. But anyway, yeah, I just find it very I'll just say it's retarded that people buy into that and they all just jerk each other off and keep that system up when they're going nowhere or backwards in life. And you're the chosen ones. And you think that is a good, you think that you're showing me a good reason why your faith is the right one kind of shit. And that's where I kind of stand on Christianity. Here's what I'll say. I will not, this is what I've kind of queued up in my mind. And this is not like a way of being, anyway, what I think, or what I know, is that if anything happens in my time, if prophetic things happen in my time, I will be able to look at them and say that I understand some part of it, that I will come to terms with it quickly, what's going on. If Buddha comes down, I'm just like, shit, dang, bro. All right. I'm not that I would say, oh, please, Buddha, now. I've never talked to Buddha. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like a cop out. It's just that if it ends up being revelation, if it ends up being, no, bro, you were supposed to be talking to him the way I was. You were supposed to put the money in the plate, dumbass. I told you. If they're all they're just all flying out of the world, and I'm just like, it's starting to get hot down here, and I'm just like, fuck, all right, I guess that is what it is. Because at that point, if that's what it is, fuck them then. That's right. What I'm being 100% serious, because the person, I'm not talking to the one I believe in. I'm not talking about the guy. If what I believe is true, this guy he's not taking the offense to what I'm saying, because I'm not talking about this entity. The entity I'm talking about isn't this entity that is just like, yeah, give me all the fatties. Come on. They're about to die of diabetes before they get here. Come on. Get them up here quick. Sir, it's really hard. These guys weigh a ton. Holy shit. No, come on. All right, guys. 20 cc's more of pure energy light. I need these guys up here quick. These are going to be, and like, why you would even ascend useless people. It's just like, okay, I mean, maybe, and maybe it's all a backwards trick too. Maybe the people who stay on Earth are actually the winners. And the people who get stepped up is kind of like the first sheep going to slaughter.
If the rapture was to happen tomorrow, hear me, like, you know, think about it like this though. If the rapture was to happen tomorrow, and the God is the way that, you know, a lot of people who are going to cling on to the rapture happening, and subscribe to that. God is very important. You know, sin is very serious. Making sure you're sorry for your sins, and not breaking those rules and not sinning again is like a huge emphasis on this. And God's very strict on certain parameters, if you will, of when it comes to like who gets into heaven and who doesn't. And then if this rapture, in my opinion, if this rapture were to happen tomorrow, it's debatable. You could make an argument that we wouldn't even notice, because honestly, this world is a satanic system. And so if God is so strict and these things are so important, especially as far as being involved in Satanism, you know, I think that this whole world, all these systems, which are really, you know, kind of one system already, has a satanic or selfish element, you know, cutthroat element to it. Mm-hmm. If God's so strict, in my opinion, then he could do the rapture tomorrow, or it could do the rapture tomorrow. And I don't think any one of us, because we live in this satanic system, none of us will get pulled up in a rapture, because we're all guilty. We're complicit. You know what I'm saying? So if God is that strict, I think we would all still be here the next day. The rapture happened yesterday. Not a damn one of us got pulled up, because we're all in the satanic system.
And that's a good point too, because I mean, and what I also, you know, struggle with sort of is understanding how there's no modernization of the archaic systems that they, you know, there is modernization, but I'm saying it's clearly not it. The Pope saying that you can, you know, cut your dick off and be a girl and still spout your religion. Okay. Mm-hmm. Somewhere there's something's getting crossed here. There's a wire crossed, guys. What's going on? It doesn't, like, why that's even a religious prompt is honestly scary. I mean, I know why it is, but especially coming from a Catholic organization. But we'll set that aside. We have a lot of people who like to go and view, you know, professionally beatified, embalmed corpses, and, you know, pray to them and kiss the glass that they live in, and they are just parked on the street. And it's a very weird system but you know, that seems very heavenly. That's like a heavenly thing, is to like deny somebody their return to the earth, their return to the soil from which birthed them. You know, the rib of Adam birthed woman. You know, it was an intimate thing between a created being and the soil that, you know, women are from earth. The birthers are from like the earth in their story. But yeah, let's just eternally keep them so they can, so their bodies never are, you know, return.
What if it's a psyop? What if there's something to that as far as caskets go? Because we've grown up in this kind of end of life kind of system that's relatively the same. But I mean, we don't even have to go back that far, like 100 years. Funeral services were way different. We just brought up like last week or a couple weeks ago about the dead families' portraits that you take their loved ones that are, you know, that have passed away. Things were the end of life and after burial and funeral services were handled way differently, you know, relatively recently ago, not like 100 years ago. So what if there's a psyop kind of thing going on to where, like, if you were buried in a wood casket that is going to, you know, degrade and break down and become earth, you know, again, that's one thing. But maybe these more permanent capsules, like a concrete or these metal caskets, your body isn't going to be able to go back into the earth, and maybe that is a problem. I don't know. It's just an idea. It's a thought. You know, why did they switch to these metal containers? What was wrong? Because you're making a great point. I mean, that's part of the beauty of it, is becoming back part of the earth, you know. as far as your physical remains getting back into the earth. Maybe that's important, and that's a critical step in the cycle. I don't know. And now they're putting us in metal boxes. Your bones and your body is not able to break down into the earth, and I don't know what the consequences of that could be, potentially spiritually, metaphysically.
Let's see. This might get me on a list. This Google search, but give me a second.
And I thought about that with cremation too. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's rational aspects of that thought, that perspective, or that idea for sure. It seems like it's less, but a human body, breaking down and becoming part of the earth again, I don't think is really a problem, except for maybe what all kind of chemicals we have in us and all these preservatives that we eat. We could be toxic to break down into the earth now, but like if you're cremated, does that make a difference that your body didn't get kind of absorbed back into the earth? I don't know. I think about that a little bit. That matters, right?
So I had to give it an interesting prompt to get it to pull up, but I'm aware of this whole concept of planting a tree and being able to kind of continue your consciousness through nature back into some sort of an existence. Not saying you become the tree, but that the tree like holds your spiritual essence, and then like it bears fruit, and that fruit will have you inside of it. And it's like it's the concept of the tree of knowledge. Or does it say the cosmic tree? Oh no, sorry, the tree of life. Different tree. There's two trees, but so it's like basically it's like spiritual eternity.
Right.
It's like it's like spiritual eternity. And if you ever get around to watching A Fountain, you'll see that kind of something similar. Concept play out in that. I did just rent it because my girl got interested in it, and we watched it. The movie's fucking crazy, but it is. There's a lot in that I was able to notice this time around for sure.
Yeah, I was planning on doing that this weekend, but things got busy. It was kind of cool. It was low end foreknowledge of it, literally just a couple days before he showed up. But my dad, who lives in Missouri, he just came down and visit. He just left today. It was pretty cool. I don't get to see him that often, so it was badass. So that's what I was going to do this weekend. Next thing I heard my dad's coming, I was like, never mind. All right.
Should have watched it with him. Blown his mind.
Yeah, good point.
But there's several mythologies that talk about burying or planting a tree on a human remains or in a burial process. So
the Fountain talks about this a little bit, is what you're saying? Or
it does more than talk about it.
It's about it.
Pretty much, yes, 100% it is, but it is it weaves in enough stuff to where it really is only really the ending that it really pushes it. But it is about it the entire movie. If you're looking for context clues, it's what it's about. But it's not like it hides it. It's like literally in the narration, there's parts that are narrated. In those parts, it just straight up says it's about the tree of life.
Well, so when you were talking about like the Bible and Christianity a minute ago, I've thought about this, and I was just making this point to someone the other day. But I mean, I think we can all pretty much agree that this reality or, this society or system we're in is like super deceptive. And like you only find lies just about. It's rare that you come across. It's hard to find truth, right? And so it just, and I don't think the Bible's insignificant. I think that, and I don't think it's just, I think it's an element, a tool to use to mislead, to kind of get people off track in multiple different ways. but I also don't think that's all it is. I think that it's also I think it has multiple faces and multiple purposes, but another purpose of it is also it's a certain type of playbook, at least for whatever kind of story or drama they're trying to fulfill out, whether it be happening metaphysically and organically in that nature, or man is manipulating and strategizing and carrying out some of these things, or maybe that's the way the metaphysical is using it. There's all sorts of ways to look at it. But my point being is, like, as far as with the Bible, and this reality that we are in, this world that we're in, is such a deceiver, and it's all lies. It's almost 100% lies. It's hard to find the truth. So there's Bibles everywhere. It's the most printed book of all books. I mean, you can't find a hotel room without a Bible. Isn't that weird? You go to some like roacher to hook up with a prostitute, and there's a Bible right next to you in the drawer. Whether you're in a luxury hotel, I mean, well, actually, I don't really think, like, the more luxury hotels, I don't really think even have that.
I don't think they do it anymore.
More, motels, hotels at a certain level down. There's a Bible in every drawer. You know what I'm saying? And so the truth's too hard to find, in my opinion. That you're just, this 100% pure message and truth that is in this Bible, I don't think it would be everywhere. You can literally, you know what I mean?
Well, we talk about the Old Testament and the fact that gematria was born out of the necessity to translate what it's saying, because what it's straight up saying is a story. What they need is the message within the story that it doesn't tell you. It is about a subjective finding of a message rather than it being a story with a direct message. Right then and there is kind of interesting. I'll just call it interesting, but that's kind of like how it's structured.
Mm-hmm.
Secondarily, the fact that it's been, had to have been translated and rewritten and redone so many times, and revisited and revision, all those revisions from popes and things of that nature, let alone the King James Version. But there's also all the other religious offshoots, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Colburn Bible and the Book of Jasher,
Book of Thomas.
Yeah.
Book of Thomas.
See, yeah.
Super interesting.
That's my last name is Thomas. So when I found out about that, I was like, that's funny. Doubting Thomas. Huh? It's like, that's kind of me. That's literally me. I don't think it's talking about me, but I don't know. But those stories are, and honestly, at least those stories are fun, in my opinion. I mean, the Bible is actually probably if you were to label it, obviously you got to get through some of those chapters that are literally, this is this man's son. This man's son bore this man's son and this man's daughter. This daughter is this man's son. This daughter is the son of this man's daughter and this man's son. It's like, okay, there's whole chapters of just that, but like and to think that's not arbitrary. There's no way that shit's arbitrary. By the way,
right?
That's always how things have done. In my interpretation of what the Bible is it is like you said, it is a tool, but like the reason why anybody writes anything down in history, it is always to convey a message to when they're not there, kind of thing. Like as far as wanting permanence in what they're writing, not just anything they write, but I'm saying like when civilizations or whatever. And by the way, I don't believe in modern histories take on previous civilizations and all that shit. I think it's all whack and bullshit, and timelines are all screwy and crazy. Without getting into that, I would imagine, what I presume is that the reason anybody would want to write things down is to convey a message to, once they're not there. In the same way that we do things now, it's just everything is so saturated now. Back in the day, there was no saturation. You did it for your village, you did it for your city, you did it for whatever, which was at max, I don't know how many 1,000 people. This is you knew most people. Everything was more intimate. Nowadays, you know how many books are just about like fucking dragons? And I'm not saying fucking I'm saying fucking dragons. Didn't we discover that whole
the monster milkers or whatever?
The DreamWorks fucking rabbit hole. Don't go down that, guys. It's dark. But yeah, I mean, it's just like you can write a book about anything nowadays. That's my point being, is that it's lost in the shuffle. I think the original usefulness of the tool that is the Bible, or that is a script on how you should be doing things and what you should be retaining, and it can do it through allegory form. That is a smart way to do it. Hey, how did you learn half the stuff you learned in grade school? Allegories. All your little tales, and the way you can sing half the songs, and they stick in your head in that way. They don't just tell you straight up, don't do this. They convince you that you don't want to do it through an allegory, through a tale. It's so you can vicariously understand why you wouldn't want to do that, because they put you in the position of the main character of a story, type of thing. And so I understand, but like why you would have like genealogy in the Bible. I don't think it's just for. I think personally that it was necessary to establish the people that were working on the work at the time, or at said times. But do I ever think that it was in the hand of a common man? Do I ever think that it was in the hands of a disciple that had just prior to that been? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the backstory of the disciples. I believe them as an allegory, as a if you give up and you aren't open to the chance that might befall you, you'll always miss it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. No, but no, I think there's a lot of things where it'll give you it's always like coming out of a negative situation. I shouldn't say always, but for the most part, you're using this script up against Greek scripts and writings, which were just disgusting. They were just talking about disgusting stuff all the time, and like getting disgusting all the time, and like being depraved and immoral. It's like, if you're gonna, obviously there's two sides to the coin there. There's going to be a society that, and just look at the Greek societies, look at the Roman societies. They put their bread all in the baskets of sit on my hands, wait, and pray and pay tithings to these degenerate bastards who are kidnapping our kids and doing deplorable things with them. And we know it, it's out in the open. And the next time we see our daughter, she is a dancer for the new king's son. And you can't, if you say a word about it, they cut your tongue out. And if you know what I'm saying, that's where they're living. And then meanwhile, there's just like clearly people who are like, what the hell? We surely don't want to do that. And so there's a lot of like, look, that's why like Egypt was used. First of all, I don't necessarily believe that Egypt was what they say Egypt was, but the Egypt as a construct in the Bible is depravity, very, very much like Babylon, very much like the other main cities in the Bible. What good city was there in the Bible? Those cities are always used as a what can happen when certain things fall apart in society and how to remedy them. But I think the remedies are on a personal level, that if you get enough people willing to make those personal remedies, you won't have those cities. Those cities will be vanquished by the good kind of like ideas. Not saying you raise the cities, but because nobody's doing that, those cities don't exist, because people have more respect and heed for morals and goodness than they do for getting over on somebody or getting it the evil way, getting it the corrupt way. And so I think there is goodness in that aspect of what is the Bible, or what it was intended to be, but that's not what it is. What it is intended to be is not what it is.
Like, look, like you're just talking about like what it meant. You're talking about like Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah. Think about the Bible basically is, in a sense, think about it this way. The Bible is desensitizing people to like the demolishing of people and cities. Now it's because they were doing this and they were acting bad and disrespecting God, but it desensitizes people, who are reading this and taking that to heart. Like they, at least subconsciously, they can justify blowing up a whole city and demolishing everybody. And now look at how our country constantly does that. Like pretty much my whole life, we've been over bombing and destroying cities and people. And the Bible is held up in a way to like justify killing blowing up a whole city if they're acting wrong, and or like I remember, he just passed away allegedly, but Lindsey Graham backing Israel all the time and using the Bible to which a lot of the stuff's not even actually in there, and it's different times. I mean, it wasn't even a nation state. There's like
they're like vague statements on who are the true inheritors of the land, or even whether or not that's what it meant. It's like if it is an allegory, why are you attributing it to a real place? It's like they'll admit that these are allegories, but then at the same time say, "Oh, no, except for where they said that's ours." Yeah, that's ours.
Well, the Bible's held up all the time. I would argue every time we do some sort of military operation and do some sort of bombing, mission or whatever, or see it all encompassing like the war on terrorism going to Iraq and Afghanistan, or how we're over in Iran right now. What was my point I was making about that? I can't even remember.
Sorry. Just blowing up cities and feeling justified in doing so because, basically they're the bad guys.
Well, and it's the Bible's being held up every time. That's kind of what I was going to say. As like, not everyone subscribes to the Bible or would see themselves as a Christian. And so they might be doing it for the country's sake. But really, it all really kind of funnels down to where the Bible, in my opinion, has been used for our country to go out and do whatever it wants. Like as far as like horrific, in my opinion, you should never kill anybody. I mean, people piss me off, but I would never kill anybody. I just don't. My soul says that I'm not supposed to. Like I know it's not the right thing to do. Self-defense, you get in some gray areas here and there, but that would not be an easy thing for me to do. Period.
Now, what about punishment for an unconsolable human?
Yeah, see, obviously, it's certain things about like messing with the little ones or whatever. I just like I'm not going to lose.
I think that's too easy.
I'll just put it this way: my soul doesn't want to be the one to take on that life and that energy of taking that life. I don't personally.
Let me ask you.
I definitely don't have a problem with people that hurt kids to get, whatever. I don't care about that.
So let me ask you, what do you attribute that to? Your idea of it being heavy on your soul, or what do you keep going off of that?
Somebody? As far as
why is it that way?
I don't know. It's a feeling. I just I don't really like hurting anything, whether it be animals or people.
Well, what I'll say to that is
maybe it's fear. It's probably some sort of subconsciously. I don't know, but I don't.
You have a functioning brain that understands its purpose and its do's and don'ts, and a lot of people don't. Now, not to say that you see, a lot of people attribute that to like a commandment or like some sort of verse or something in any religion, not necessarily just the Bible, that will tie your soul, like it's a mark on your soul that you can't get off kind of thing, or that it, and for all intents and purposes, it really is. I mean, for if let's say the atheists are right and we just like close our eyes and that's it. Well, then for the entire time we're living, that is a mark. There's no way you're just going to eat cereal a week from then and just be like, yeah, what's on the news? It's like, bro, you just like that guy's breath just like left in your because of you. So in that way, I can understand. But like, I think using it as a, because like what you're kind of pointing towards is that or what I'm gathering from it is that you have some sort of innate moral understanding that it's not your place to snuff out anybody else, just like it should be no one else's place to snuff out you, because, you know, that's not what we're here to do. That's not what we're here to do at all. Obviously, things go sour, things go south, and there is such a thing as self-defense. And in my opinion, if you consider yourself at all righteous, then you're not getting killed for no reason. You're not getting killed for a good reason. If somebody's wanting to kill you and you're righteous, then it is for no good reason. So just that in and of itself, but I am more of a purist anyway. That it's just, if you're willing to kill somebody, you're willing to die type of shit. It's one of those things that these things would have worked themselves out in a city of 1,000, 10,000 people. Millions, that's where all this gray area comes in. But at the same time, it's like I said, I think death could be too easy for certain people, and that, you know, there should probably be a pit somewhere that it's just like torture that like keeps you alive because you refuse to die. But like you can die at any time if you just stop eating or stop drinking. But there's a little trickle of dirty, muddy water that the animals piss in, and there's a little bit of like moss growing, and you and the other 30 people in that pit have to figure out how to divvy up your moss and your shit water. And that's kind of what that's evil as hell, but like maybe that's just what I'm telling you about. You got to be able to understand that.
I agree with that. Like, so, because like when you're talking about the ending of a life, and like, are there certain offenses that reach that level, that threshold where it's justified and stuff? And I was thinking, like, I'm not some like never been upset and never scrapped or whatever. Hell yeah, dude, I've gotten my ass whooped, you know, in the past, done, you know, I've gotten physical. This is like, it's just a thing, but it's, you know, and it's obviously based on back then for those certain instances that this has happened, right? Is I was feeling like I was wronged, and I was offended, and I felt like I was wrong to a level of where it got down. You know, things got real. But when if it came to something like what you're talking about, like a ultimately horrible offense, like, yeah, my soul doesn't feel like it's right to snuff out or take another life. I don't think my soul doesn't feel like I am supposed to take another life. Now, that doesn't mean if someone was doing something like that, like messing with a little one or whatever, that I wouldn't be so enraged that I would like have the anger in me to beat the living hell out of them probably every day for the rest of their life. But see, I'm not killing them.
Could that be perceived as righteous fury, though? Like, I think that there is a particularly, you know, very much a righteous element to taking matters into your own hands when you're the one called upon to do it. And that the act of ignoring and or walking away from it would be literal evil if you were confronted with it.
Oh, but man, that's a great thing to ponder on. Wow, that's deep.
What you should also think about too is I want to mention that I was saying when you said that you gotten beat up before, but bro, I'm due. All my fights I've gotten, I've won, or it's been like neutral enough. I've never been hit in the face, bro. I am so due. When it happens to me, it's gonna be like when you don't get chicken pox as a kid. You're gonna get it as an adult, like, and it's gonna kill you. That's what's gonna happen to me because I never got my comeuppance.
This bartender at this bar in down closer to Atlanta, I think she manifested this shit on me, really. But I was at that bar earlier in the night. She literally looked at me and she told me how much of a punchable face I have. And then I'd wind up going, you know, hop bar. I wind up being at a different bar later that night. And damn, if I didn't catch a black eye out, you know, man, she was right. Next, I literally saw her like a couple days later, had a black eye. She's like, she just busted out laughing because she knew what she had just said to me like 2 nights before, man. She put it out in the universe, and that's came.
Some spellcraft, bro.
Like right here, you know.
I'll turn my light on real quick.
She called it out, man. She called it out. It was a person. Oh, sorry, you didn't have your headphones on. She called it out. It was a dude, and this wasn't Halloween. I'm pretty sure this was summertime, but he was wearing a Dracula outfit at this bar. And I wouldn't even give him any hell about it. I wasn't like I was making fun of him or whatever. We were actually just smoking a cigarette out on the patio. And out of nowhere, he just we were having a good conversation. And then out of nowhere, I think something was going on, because out of nowhere, he just all of a sudden had just switched his angle, and he was like started saying a couple mean things to me. We were having a great cordial conversation. And he said a couple mean things to me. And when I was like, dude, what? And the next thing I know, boom, he rocked me. And I was pretty much like, what just happened? A guy in the Dracula costume in the middle of June just punched me in the eye. Okay.
Middle of June?
After a
vampire time.
3 hours ago told me I had a punchable face. Things are getting weird. I need to go home.
Well, shit. So yeah, I said at the beginning of the episode too.
Yeah.
Just threw the line back out to any viewers that want to participate, or at least have an idea in mind for potentially, breaking down a movie, or for the 100th episode, or really any good ideas for the 100th episode, or any ideas for the 100th episode, or I'm fielding any and all suggestions. But also, being part of the show too. I would love to get another person on here and see how our riff can go, how good it can get. We've had very good luck on this channel with our guests, you being a former guest, and how quickly you popped up after Austin's departure was clutch. And so why I say that is because me and Austin always talked about just how we served as a pretty good example of how easy it is to get involved, and there's no strings here, guys. This is me and you are just yapping, bro. We're just talking, and sometimes people like to hear what we're talking about and get and involve themselves with us, and that's just how a community forms. And I'm not looking to be the cult leader, so if you guys want to get involved, you'll be just as big a part of me as it is me, other than me having the hardware on my side. But still, that's about it. If you guys want to come on and work your way up to being a host or whatever, this could be a panel. This could be multifaceted. We could be dipping our toes in all sorts of things. We could have, who knows how far it could go, but we need involvement. We need you to take that first step and just, like you did. And
well, dude, our conversations that we have, we have these conversations, and I think about it pretty much all week until our next show. I just think about, a lot of times I'll think about kind of reflecting back of just the kind of the line that the conversation and just moves in, and where it winds up evolving into, and the different, for instance, looking into Johnny Morris's dad, and literally he was a 32nd degree Mason directly.
What do you know?
It's just crazy where these things go. And so the more minds we add into this conversation, I mean, dude, think about how
preach.
I can't even tell you where these conversations could lead to, and what kind of topics and potentially revelations we could come up with, or at least good ideas or interesting ones.
Yeah, you're right, dude. At some point we were talking about LeBron James, and then I blacked out, and then Dracula socked me, and I woke up and we were talking about something else.
That's a great point.
But yeah, and that's kind of the beauty of it. And that happened all the time. It just is what happens. It is what happens. It's not that we are the guys that can do it. Everyone can do it. Come get involved, hop on the show, and you'll be surprised. We'll be going down one avenue, and before you know it, we'll be connecting dots to another avenue, to this, to that, and the third. It's happened so many times, but it's also fun. To me, it's fun. I wouldn't do this if I didn't enjoy it. There's nobody forcing me to do this. It's my computer, everything. This is all my stuff that I turn on. In fact, I was having terrible internet issues. It just, I say luckily, but I'll give it up. I'll give it up. Thankfully it all ended up working out. But yesterday and the last 3 days, I've had worse than dial-up internet. And my provider was just saying, nope, nothing's wrong in your area. Everything's great. I'm just like, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Can I have some more? Can you see some lube this time? Just a little bit. I'll spit on it if you want. No. Okay.
Right. You bitter.
But yeah, it's just luckily it cleared up and it's been better the last day and a half. So, so that on top of everything else.
Can I propose something for the chat too? The people can participate if they want to. If not, whatever. But I just want to ask, the people out there what they think. Do you mind pulling up a Google search of one of these NBA players or WNBA players real quick?
One of these.
It's like, well, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. I was, we were talking about the WNBA, and I said that, well, half of them, I don't think there's any W about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the players that was in the 3-point contest, because it was All-Star weekend this past weekend.
I heard.
Yeah,
I saw.
So I just feel like if you want to type in, she plays for the Seattle Storm, but Natisha Heidemann.
Hide a man in plain sight.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And look at the pictures. I mean, we can look at a couple of the images here.
Got the butterfly tat.
What do you
nice.
think about this, guys? Anyone out there that sees this that wants to participate, let's vote on this thing. Is this name, because we talk about how the names are super telling, right? And are they saying that hide a man? It's a man in hiding. What do we think here? You know what I mean?
It's definitely interesting. I like how they get a still image of her fouling this person. And they both have blue hair. What are the
I was kind of decoding the All-Star game, right? I was kind of looking into it and decoding it. Check this out, man. Talk about, you think the WNBA doesn't push a certain narrative when it comes to like sexuality? This All-Star game, it was Team Coop versus Team Spoon. These are two legends in the WNBA. Cynthia Cooper and Teresa Weatherspoon. That's literally her, I think, right behind that orange picture. I think that's Weatherspoon. It looks like her. But type in their names. I was decoding them just since those are the names of the teams. I was decoding them, in the Google search. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I didn't specify. I came across their names, okay, and I just busted out laughing when I came across each one of them. So go down and look at her full name, Teresa Weatherspoon.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Wow. Okay. All right.
She's very happy. All right. She's happy.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then Cynthia Cooper. Let's see what her name. It's not her middle name.
Cooper Dyke.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Her marriage.
I'm trying to decode the WNBA All-Star game, and I keep coming across this shit. How you should stay focused whenever they're pulling this mockery and name formation on me. You know what I mean? Look at the birthday, April 14th. Wow. Well, 144 actually, man. I just was like, man, this is getting ridiculous. I was already on the hide a man in hiding, Dyke, gay. What? Could they be more in your face with this, man? You know what I mean?
A woman from Mount Cynthus.
Wow. And, I've talked about that player for the Chicago Sky. Her last name's Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else I realized? You know what jersey number she wears?
What?
9. Cloud 9.
She's on Cloud 9 for sure.
These sons of guns, man. They just don't stop with the jokes. I mean, arguably, dude, the best comedy special is going to come for the WNBA's players and coaches' names. Maybe in the last 10 years,
You're kidding me that these were the two coaches of the All-Star game?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Gay Dyke. It's just blatant,
Oh, she doesn't even coach in the WNBA anymore.
No, yeah, I think she retired a year or two ago. It was her last year. Yeah, okay, yeah, there it is, 2 years ago. And look, she coached for the Sky, where the All-Star game for the WNBA was in Chicago this weekend. And then I think Cynthia Cooper had some sort of connection. I think she played for the Sky. Or no, Cynthia Cooper, is that who you're looking at?
Born in Chicago.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I can't remember what Teresa Weatherspoon's tie was with the Chicago. It was something, but those names were just...
No, she was the coach.
Okay, yeah.
Formerly the coach.
Okay. Yeah, it was way double coded. So
where did she not play in the WNBA? Former player. Houston Comets. Here's the coach of the Mercury. Got a trickster amongst us. Interesting.
I noticed that she was.
Well, it's just interesting.
3 years old.
Yeah, it's a good age for her to be chosen to do the All-Star. I saw highlights of it. Oh my gosh! Yeah. I mean, there's no telling me they're not all Order of the Eastern Star, because they were throwing up bricks. Like, there were some Masons for sure. That was just brick city, dude. Layup after layup, brick. Like, dude. Oh my gosh.
Hey, so I'm pretty grateful that the WNBA All-Star game was happening, because I've been telling you about how I've been kind of playing with the WNBA as far as, decoding those games. Well, there's no games during an All-Star break. So, it's the 3-point contest and then the All-Star game. There's a day off or two on each side of that. So I wound up kind of stumbling across the NWSL, is the National Women's Soccer League. It's like basically the MLS, but the women's version. Dude, I kind of designed a little decode strategy, came up with one night. I was up really late, and then my first night playing the NWSL, I went 5 for 5. Oh, baby! Racing Louisville just won. Oh, shit. I just hit big time tonight. That was an upset. They were like plus 460 odds, dude. And then I also played Liga MX, and there was a plus 500 odd that I saw while we were talking. It was Ponchero versus some team with a Q. The team with a Q had a great narrative. So I just hit really well tonight, dude. The only game I missed today was the San Diego Wave. I was rolling with them. Seattle took them down. I had Spirit. I had Louisville. This is going to be great, man. Oh, wow. Nice. I'm pleasantly surprised here.
Racing Louisville. Like,
I want to say it's like $300 between those two tickets. I just like $5 straight bet 2-pick with Racing Louisville. And then I picked that Liga MX team, the Quintero or something like that. Shit. But hey, my point being, I stumbled across this the other night. I went 5 for 5. First time I ever played these two leagues. I went 5 for 5. Tonight,
it's so funny.
Evening decoding these soccer games. I don't even know any of these players, dude. I'm completely clueless. It's just the number
not
codes.
But my girl, her mom, the company she used to work for used to get Portland Thorns tickets all the time, and she was my girls used to play soccer, and she likes soccer and everything, and she's all like to her, it's low level enough to where there's a chance it's not rigged. And I tell her, I tell her,
5 for 5.
Bro, I tell her, I'm like, why wouldn't it be rigged? Of course it's rigged. It's like, you don't get it. It's not that, it's like too little or something like that. Okay, yeah. You guys need, once they understand that they're rigging Little League, then maybe they can open up their minds or something. But like,
let's see if I can show you this real quick, dude. Can you go scroll over to the Liga MX? It's like a Mexican league, apparently. Liga MX. So I just want to show you these kind of seen as less visible or smaller time leagues, at least in my opinion. I didn't even know about either one of these leagues until 3 nights ago. So tonight, that Quintero, that was like plus 500 odds, dude. I put them together with the Racing Louisville from the NWSL. It was like $280, dude. It was awesome. Yeah. So, but anyway, this game, the other night in this Liga MX, like I literally had the exact scores. That's how I hit big the other night. These two leagues, anyone out there, they're honest to the numbers. Let me put it that way. You're gonna go mess with the MLB, the NFL. They'll double code and heavy code to a game, one team, and they'll go with the other one. These have been my 2 favorite leagues I've come across so far since I've been decoding sports, for sure. Club Tijuana is my favorite logo. They have a dog logo. It's a really cool logo. I have like 6 dogs. Dogs are kind of like,
Oh,
wow. Thanks, guys.
pretty.
That was another though. That was a good game that I called the other night or decoded.
Well, they're
the thing that's kind of tough about this Liga MX is that they're brand new. The season's brand new, like it's match day 2 of 17. So some of these teams have only played one game. So you're messing with, there's kind of a ceiling.
It's hard to
how much.
Yeah, it's like, are they gonna score? You're not gonna sit there and say, oh, they could score 2 goals for the second game. That's just not going to play in those kind of scenarios. Yeah. So what are you able to find out about them? Because it's not, so they're not coding it to players.
I was decoding it off of team record. So they do win, draw, loss.
Yeah.
And then you get 3 points for a win. You get 1 point for a draw, none for a loss. And so their stats lines, there's win, draw, loss, points. Then it has goals forced, how many goals they've scored, and then goals allowed, how many goals that have been scored on them, and then goal differential. And so it could be a positive number, it could be minus number. It's, depending on where they're at. But I've been using those and really I've had the most success with points and goal differential. And compare that with the date numerology. That's been money, like literally money.
This could be very much so a case of there is no upper echelon to compare to, so they're just doing standard ritual, daily ritual, daily number rituals, rather than having it be paying homage to any kind of past event. They're just, paying homage to the present, really.
Well, so like I'll show you real quick. I don't know if you can see this or whatever, but I'll read it off. So that Racing Louisville in the NWSL, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very, very basic surface level. Racing Louisville was playing a team called Angel City, and Angel City's win, draw, losses were 7 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses. Today is 7-date numerology, by the way. I guess I need to say that. So 7, 1, and 6. 7-date numerology today. So very surface level, simple decode is that they could pick up their 7th loss. Okay, that makes sense, right? I noticed that Angel City has a goal differential of +8. Okay, meaning that they've scored 8 more goals than have been scored on them so far this season, about 15 games into the season. Well, so they could pick up their 7th loss, and if they lost by exactly 1 goal, they would be +7 goal differential. You see, because they lost by 1 in this game, their goal differential will go down by 1. And I'm pretty sure that the score was 2-1.
Yep.
They lost by the 1 goal. So I mean, it's very simple surface level decode. It's 7-date numerology. They picked up their 7th loss, and now their goal differential drops down to +7. That was basically the main thing I liked about this game. And money. Here we go.
Angel City.
And I know from decoding baseball and stuff that angel equals 22 or angel equal 22. And they had 22 goals forced, which they wound up scoring 1. But as far as points go, they had 22 points on the season so far. So I did kind of like them staying on 22 points when angels equals 22, that and the 2 sevens. And it's kind of nice to come across a league that is these kind of smaller or more mid-level leagues, that don't have as much exposure. And they don't have the drama, like superstar drama lines that they have to play out, this soap opera, basically, like specifically, like we talked about LeBron James,
Yep.
Like I said, I don't know any of these players in these leagues. So like no one's going to be following where the forward for, Racing Louisville is going to be traded to Angel City or whoever. I mean, dude, no one knows. No one cares.
These guys might get paid in food stamps, to be quite honest.
Yeah, right.
These guys are getting gift certificates. They're playing for gift certificates, bro.
I'll just hang out over here in these less, entertainment, just wrapped up in all the headlines.
More lucrative.
Yeah, it's way better idea. The things start getting a little tricky whenever there's all this other extra soap opera shit happening. So
That's cool, dude.
yeah.
Well, if you ever have stuff you want to share about it, just let me know. We'll find a spot for it. That was cool.
Well, yeah, the main thing about that was I just wanted that, again, I'll kind of reference back to it, is I thought that was wild about Natisha Hardiman or Heidemann.
Heidemann.
And then also, I guess, the two coaches, Team Coop, Team Spoon, with the married and the middle names of those two is just unbelievable, dude.
Oh, no, dude.
What's wrong?
Bro, she's got a tattoo that says live and laugh. Bro, where's the love at? Oh, no. I don't want to know where the love is at. It's on one of them.
She has a live laugh on her.
Yeah. Oops, not saving.
If you really wanted to kind of get in the weeds with it, her first name, Natisha, I messed up. I thought it said Natasha. And so I thought it was Natasha Heidemann. And then I was kind of thinking along the lines of Natasha, not a she. Man in hiding is where I was going with it, but it's Natisha. That was a good decode.
It's a play on it. It's a play on it. Vowels are very easily interchangeable or taken out because they're the most recent additions. Like there weren't letters.
Yeah, you get wiggle room with vowels. You get the wiggle room, and that's why Pat Sajak made you buy him, bro.
Of course, dude, they're expensive. Yeah. If you want that guy to go if you want Vanna White, Vanna Heidemann, Manna White.
Man, Pat Sajak should. 32
dare you, Pat.
WNBA is super interesting to pay attention to, though, as far as like they're so strong on their number rituals. Like all the leagues are, but they're just blatantly obvious with them. Like literally, they stopped the game the other night. It was 3-2-2, and I can't remember what the combined score was at that time, but boom. And then they stopped it at 144. It was like boom. What does that say, loser?
Yeah.
Hey, butterfly.
SPER. I know. That's what I saw. I pointed out the first thing.
Monarch mind control, baby. Especially blue
There's
butterfly.
a team called the Monarch, isn't there?
I know there used to be in the Negro Leagues baseball. It was the Kansas City Monarchs. I don't know that currently. Oh yeah,
and the former WNBA franchise.
Where were they in Kansas City? The WNBA one?
Looks like it, yes.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
Oh wait, no. That's still okay. Here we go. Sacramento.
Okay. Yeah,
makes sense because they had the Kings and the Monarchs.
Yeah.
Oh, they won a title and then they dissolved them. That makes sense.
Right. Maybe a little bit.
Like how many teams have no titles and are just still going?
Right.
It's like what do you guys want? Why are you still here? Just to suffer.
Yeah, Sacramento, man. The Kings.
I can't think of a time the Kings ever had a chance to win. Even when they were at their best with like Weber and Bibby and certain things, like they're just like, bro, that's your bet. That's your big. That's your big chance. They had Jason Williams too, I think, didn't they? Yeah.
Certain teams are always like I mean, that's where more evidence of the energy harvest. Period. I mean, it's just literally build people up and just pay attention and look at these people, how upset they get. It literally like ruins their life temporarily when certain things by a team losing or whatever. Unbelievable.
Natisha Heidemann highlights. She scored 30 before, or let's say she. Can she score? Yes, she can. She had a 31-point game. Wait, 31.
I did put
Storm is 32. I was like,
I did put $5 on her for the 3-point contest because I did notice that from when the 3-point contest was on Friday night. It was exactly 201 days from the 3-point contest to her next birthday. And there was another girl I'd put $5 on because it was 322 days since her last or till her next birthday.
Azzy Fudd?
Yeah.
Bro, what? Who?
Yeah,
An object or a person?
She's responsible for busting my 3-point contest tickets. Thank you, Fudd. Tell Elmer.
Fudd Rucker.
What is it? I'm a Bugs Bunny fan. I rock with Bugs Bunny, not the Fudd, man.
It's a rabbit hunting season.
What is it? So she plays for Dallas, and that's her number 35. Is that what?
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks to be it.
Of course.
Azzy Fudd. I guess I have to look up her name. Azzy Fudd. Father's name Elmer. So wait, what? Oh, she's a rookie.
Her stats. She had a 33-minute line there.
Scoring on 11.
22, right behind it. Come on. Arlington County, Virginia. So pretty much she was created in a lab by the government.
Right behind Langley, right behind CIA.
Yeah. Phil, she was birthed at the back of an intelligence agency.
She was better than the back of a liquor store.
Well, one of the other players that was in it, she plays for Atlanta. Her name is kind of like the famous baseball player for the Phillies, Ryan Howard, but her name is spelled Ryan, but they always pronounce it Ryan Howard. So, you got Heidemann for Seattle in the 3-point contest. You got Ryan Howard for Atlanta in the 3-point contest. I don't even know where to go with AZ Fudd. I'm not really. This is just. I don't know what we're doing with this.
I don't know.
Yeah, what? Why? It's almost like they forgot a consonant at the front of her name. Really.
UConn has still been good recently, right?
I'm pretty. Yeah, they're just a powerhouse when it comes to women's basketball. Period. I did hear because, like I said, I pay attention to these games a little bit when I was picking them, and I did hear that. I think it's every NBA Finals has had, or WNBA Finals has had a player, at least one player from UConn in it, except for maybe one or two. So, yeah, they pretty much own from collegiate into the professional league for sure. And it's kind of interesting, man. We talk about NASCAR, and they had the suing with, they had this big whole legal thing going on. Go ahead. What were you with Sacramento?
No, go ahead. You got to go now because I'm dying.
This league just had a whole big. They almost didn't play this season because they were holding out for contracts. Players versus
WNBA.
So, yeah,
that was a real thing. I thought that was just a podcast circuit thing because they were all going on to podcasts and complaining. Yeah, and it was just clip farming.
Held out. They didn't know if they were even going to be able to play they thought that the season might be canceled, which they wound up playing and getting it done in time. But yeah, they just had a holdout and, kind of, dissonance with the league coming from the players associations, kind of similar to how the drivers had such an issue with NASCAR as well. This past year.
Well, you got her mom. Shout out to Katie Smirka Duffy Fudd. Just shout big shout out to my mom, Katie Smirka Duffy Fudd. She was always there for me. If you're wondering who I'm talking about my mom, Katie Smirka Duffy Fudd.
That's insane.
That's up there with wacky, wavy, inflatable arm flailing tube man.
I mean, Smirka, the way Smirka, my mind can't even compute that as not a mistype. You know what I mean?
Smirka. But Duffy is so close to Daffy as well. So it's what is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, how much more evidence do you need? All these names we've been throwing out, this mockery that they have, and then look at this. We're getting a parental name like this. I mean, if you can't tell that the joke's on you, if you're believing into this, man, I would be embarrassed as well. I'm not trying to be a hater. Look at the older brother named Thomas. Hey,
I saw that.
I'm not trying to be a hater, but I mean, come on. So you got to shake awake to this. It's just too.
Oh, snap. You know about this chick? Paige.
I've heard of her. Yeah, she's
I
good.
don't know how to say it. Yeah, exactly. But she's a lesbo with this chick.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh.
Small world.
Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. Yeah.
It's like Fuddruckers, but it's Fuddbeckers.
Dude, so I'm pretty sure Paige, yeah, they say it Beckers, I guess, or whatever, but Fuddbeckers, dude, what? Yeah. Fuddruckers used to have a pound burger that was, we used to smash that back in the day.
Azzy Fudd's pounding her burger.
I'm pretty sure both of them, she was an all-star. I think she was in the all-star game this year.
Yeah,
as well.
she's a good, she's been,
she's been, what, man? We just got like both halves of a relationship, both in the all-star game. Are you kidding me? You guys want to believe any part of this is real? I know people are onto it, but again, with the numbers, we got 201 all over her birth.
It's like the Asia Wilson, Bam Adebayo. It's like, what are the odds that the two leading or highest scorers in the NBA and WNBA respectively are dating? Just wow, yeah. They found common ground, I guess.
Right. That's where I messed up. I was on the right track, but that's where I messed. Oh, that's Paige Bickers, number 9. I thought that was AZ Fudd, but that 201 all over her, like the 20/10, 201, born in 2001. I mean,
first pick at a UConn. You can do it. Place for the breeze. Oh, wait. She plays for 2 different leagues? Oh, I see. She does. Well, she plays for a 3x3 team.
That's a Canadian league?
I think no, BC is basketball club, not British Columbia. It's a 3x3 league. Or three yeah. So kind of like what Ice Cube's got going on. Which, how's that going? We should look into that next episode.
Oh, the Ice Cube 3-on-3 league?
Yeah, I've heard things from it, but I have never stopped to like look into it. That's
and then Tiger Woods also has a kind of a league. It's not like a 3-on-3, but Tiger Woods has a league where it's really interesting. Actually, they play. It's indoor, so like I know that they had it in Atlanta as well, and so they played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and they kind of set up a hole where they hit like certain shots, and they can make like an 18-hole course inside an arena. The tech that they have, the green undulates like, and they'll set up the green. You know, each green is going to have different hills wherever it's at, depending on what hole you're on. Well, that's how they're able to use the same green, and it looks so realistic too. It's wild, dude. But there was number ritual all over. Like I just looked briefly into that, and it was pretty. I think some of those little kind of where they takes a big superstar and they have a league out of them. I mean, this is just another way just to blatantly throw number rituals out to the public. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, I totally agree. And yeah, it's a joke, honestly, but it's a joke, but they have punchlines. I always give it up. I say it straight up. They're funny. Like they have a sense of humor. It's dark. It's messed up, but it's like that kind of appeals to me in some way. That's not to say that I agree with, the going about of it, but like they do make a lot of jokes and a lot of them do end up being, kind of amusing, but but fuck them too.
So. For multiple years in baseball for major leagues, anytime that Pittsburgh was playing Philadelphia, it would have the P logo for either one of them. You can interchange them. The P at the very beginning of the game, like first pitch on the TV screen, it literally says poop. P for Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
0 runs. P for Philadelphia.
Hell yeah.
Like that for years. It just says poop for like an hour of each game. They have a match.
Just a no-hitter on each side.
Exactly,
it's a big shitty game, big poop game. Great poop game of 2018.
And they're pretty blatant with their little jokes.
Yeah, I wonder. Actually, real quick, what are the Phillies up to?
I I don't know. They just hosted the All-Star game.
They did?
Yeah, the All-Star game was in Philadelphia this year.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, of course it was.
I got my ass handed to me on any ticket. I knew I shouldn't even mess with it. Whatever. I did try with the home run derby and I just got stomped.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, the home run derby, the St. Louis Cardinals player, Jordan Walker won. He wound up hitting 6 straight home runs to take the derby championship. And his name's Jordan, kind of like Jordan's 6 championships.
6 rings,
yeah. Which were consecutive in seasons that he played because he took that break.
Yeah,
but he won 3, he took the hiatus, and then came back and won 3 again. So it was like Jordan doing 6 straight to win the derby.
Let's see. Damn. The Marlins are 52 and 54, but they lost 10 straight. Bro, they were 52 and 44, and then they just ripped off 10 losses in a row. Sheesh.
Is it Marlins? They're another one of the teams that anytime they have success and have won the World Series, they sell it all the next year. They burn it all down. It's like, how do you even keep a team in a city like where they do that to the fans? I guess just in general, I think the society, we're kind of in a sense gluttons for punishment. Like I think there's Florida to that whole dynamic and feeling let down because otherwise that's a big thing is these diehard fan bases that always get shit on. Detroit Lions fans, similar thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you'll have people in Sacramento celebrating a Los Angeles championship. They'll consider it a California win. So it's like Florida has 20 teams across all the freaking sports. New York is the same, and obviously California is the same. They have a million teams to choose from. At that point, it's kind of like nitpicking county lines kind of thing. It's just like in your day-to-day, it's fun to be a bigger fan of the Kings if the Kings are winning than the Lakers or the Clippers or whatever. But in reality, it's like you can cheer on the Marlins and be completely fine if they're losing because more than likely maybe the Dolphins are doing good, maybe the Heat are doing good, maybe the Buccaneers are doing good, or it's just ridiculous. Oh, Texas is the other one. Texas has a million teams to look at. Interesting. Well, yeah, the Pirates are middle of the pack in their conference, and the Phillies are second, but they're 5.5 games behind as of this point. But there's still a lot of baseball left.
Yeah, is Atlanta still number 1 right now?
Yeah, they got a 5.5 point game lead, but they love spoiling. It's like, guys, you got to understand, like the All-Star break, that lead the leads teams have at the All-Star break, they're pointless. Mm-hmm. They always are flipping the script or making it extremely close by the end of it. Maybe I shouldn't say always, but often they do, to the point where it's like you can't trust that. And there's no way it's organic. Oh, tonight, you know what? We weren't even trying the first half of the season. It's just like that. What? This isn't high school. This isn't like these people are being paid unbelievable amounts of money to do this. There's no incentive for them not to play their best every single game. Have you seen how much of a joke they're making the MLB recently with the umpiring, with the strike zone thing, the AI strike zone, with the errors? There's no highlights this season. It's just their highlight reels are lowlights. It's just everybody's committing a million errors. All teams just commit a million errors, and they suck at fielding and doing anything like that. It's crazy. But I think they're slowly making it a joke.
All aspects, like all the leagues are kind of having stuff like that happens. The NBA, it just ended, but the beginning of their season started with all these controversies of players and coaches and fixing games and whatever. But it's kind of just it's the same story, whether you're talking about this league or that league, or the fact that like any brand new homes that are being built are like such shitty quality, and that they're breaking down before people even have a chance to move into them. How car services are, acting up. You can't get your car fixed. I have personal experience with my Jeep with this. And then just like the economy and kind of our country as a whole is visibly kind of,
cracking.
Looking to the eye, the optics of it looks like it's all circling the toilet bowl as it's going down. And they're doing this in all the leagues too. I think this is a way to just kind of really set forth some despair and maybe hopelessness.
Whether it's like you can't even
the economy in general, or just how things are going. It's a very doom and gloom type of time.
There's no escape in the TV. There's no escape for you to, vicariously get away from the problems that are all around you. They follow you into that tube. Or no one uses tube TVs. Shout outs to those who got a tube TV still. But,
you used to be able to kind of back out and distract yourself from the horror, but no, dude, all the things that one would use for distraction have become horrific themselves, and
they got to face the horror,
depressing itself. Like the truth, the pill metaphor, blue pill, red pill, and so like that's kind of like the transition. You go from a blue pill to a red pill, and then there's this concept of a black pill come out, and I think that. Where we're at now, if you want to use the pill metaphor, is like anyone that's blue pill, they will just skip the red pill and go straight to black. It's just blue to black pill at this point. This is hopeful, what visibly people are being presented with. Now, it's tough and it's a test. Now, like if you actually go out there and walk around and pay attention to things on like a more local and a smaller level, the world is a lot more beautiful. There is a lot of hope around and out there. It's just not what's going to be blasted and on every screen or every recommended for you, whatever. All negativity. We have no room for positivity in that. And dude, I have to battle that myself. I mean, as far as being a black pill, type of mentality, because that's exactly the game plan. They want people to be in despair and hopeless.
Like I've always said, it's a balance. It's like, obviously I have black pill type of, shit going on with me too. But at the same time, I'm about to have my third child. My other two children are like
beautiful.
I see in them like greatness and good and all that stuff. And that pushes me to do good. And so it's not that it's void of good. But I think there's an honest amount of realism you got to have in your understanding of things to know that, like it's probably off kilter. It's probably, less good than bad right now. You just got to find a way to navigate that. It's not worth giving up. That's not what your mindset should be. It should be at facing the truth and the reality and doing the best you can with what you're presented with. And it's not about comparing either. The more you try to compare with previous generations or upcoming generations, that like we've talked about, that just gets you stuck. The nostalgia bug is real.
I fall into that trap a lot. I find myself having to crawl back out of that and be like, man, but what is going on today? We've talked about this in multiple episodes. That is a recurring weak spot in my armor, is that I can fall down and think about how things used to be instead of, more importantly, what we can make things to be,
or not to be. That is the question. Well, like always at the end of the episode, I'll reiterate it again, but guys, I'm not even asking at this point. Get involved, hop on the stream with us, hit us up in the email, hit us up in the comments. We can make it work, and come join the show. We can bring your certain flavor to this soup, and we'll cook it up for everybody. And anyway, that analogy was going nowhere. I had to end it, but yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. It was kind of all over the place, but that's kind of what I planned because I didn't have that much of a plan. But like I said, we're building towards episode 100, and we do hope to have a more structured episode. It's going to take some doing between me and Truth Shaman, but I think it's something we can get done. So before then, get your thoughts and ideas and down, or potentially to join us as well. So, and we can
ideas for a movie decode, or just a really good ideas for the 100th episode, being just any kind of creative ideas, more than welcome.
And anything in between. Like if you guys want to get involved before then or after, whatever it is, hit us up. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and we will catch you next week. Later, guys.
Take it easy.
Peace, man.